Hi everyone, how are you? I'm doing a live stream through my Instagram, also my YouTube and my Facebook, and I'm going to be talking about how to cultivate inner love and um, awareness and self-empowerment. So I asked a couple of you through my stories what you wanted to know, and so I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to give out a few techniques, I'm going to give a few tips so that you can learn how to cultivate inner love and awareness and why it's important for each one of us, and especially right now that everything is going on in the world. It's super important for us to cultivate love so that we can begin cultivating love for other people. Okay, so before I start, I just let's just sit comfortable. And if you're watching there, hi Lucas. Hola, Lucas. So if you're there, just sit down in a comfortable position and um, put your feet on the ground and close your eyes. And we're just going to do a couple of breathing exercises so that you can be receptive to the information and I can explain to you what you need to hear. Okay, so just close your eyes, sit in a comfortable position, lengthen up your spine and breathe in through your nose and filling all of your lungs. Expand your belly and hold it. Exhale, release through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Hold it. Exhale through your mouth. And one more breath. Inhale through your nose. Hold it. Exhale through your mouth. Okay. Very nice. So I wrote a couple of things to start out, and why is it important for us to love ourselves? So it's important because if we don't have our personal love, if we don't love ourselves inside, then we're going to portray our pain, our hate towards other people. So it's super important to begin to cultivate that inner awareness, to begin cultivating that inner love within, so that every action that you make, you will impact not only yourself, but you're going to impact as well the people around you. Okay, so it's super important to begin to love ourselves. So why don't we love ourselves? And this is a question that I used to ask myself, and I've been on this journey for more than 8 years now, and I realize that there's a lot of things of why we don't love ourselves. First of all, we've been clouded with belief systems, especially if we were born in a very dysfunctional family. If we were mistreated as a little kid, if we had issues or traumas in school or childhood traumas or experiences we had, and usually that's because our inner child is hurting. So we hold grudge, we hold pain, we hold resentment within, and that is what it doesn't let us to really have a good perception and a good self-image of us, of ourselves. Okay, so I'm just gonna explain to you a little bit about me and why I'm just sharing this information, because in the past I used to really dislike myself. I was super addictive to many things like substances. I was had a lot of addictive behaviors with people. I was very violent as well. So that was just only my, you know, I was just putting out my hurt and my pain towards other people, and I would be really hurtful to other people as well. And I would I really hate myself. I remember one time I would look at myself in the mirror and I was having so much pain. I looked at myself in the mirror and I scratched my face and I just told myself that I hated myself. And it's sad. Now that I think about it, it's super sad that I thought that way about myself, and and it's like, why do I have so much hurt and pain within? Why do I see myself like that? Why do I hate myself so much? And I could see that reflected in my behaviors and my eating patterns. I would eat things that were not good for me. I would drink a lot. I would just be bad to people and hate people and have so much envy and so much jealousy, and just that was just a reflection of myself, and I would attract so many hurtful people around me because I did not love myself enough, and I hated myself. So people, I would just attract those things. I would attract bad I would attract bad partners. I would attract bad relationships in my jobs, or bosses that were not really good for me, like that would mistreat me or things like that, right? So I'm just telling you this because that's when my journey started, and I just it was a moment that I realized that I had to start changing this, how I saw myself, and you start doing that by changing your belief systems, how you look yourself, your perception of life, your perception of yourself, and just see it like if we are blinded by filters that are not letting us see who we really are inside. Okay, so how to begin? How do you begin to love yourself? How do you begin to cultivate that inner love and awareness and empowerment within? So you begin by asking yourself questions to really knowing yourself who you are, and listing out the things that you do like and about yourself, and the things that you don't like about yourself. So when we do this, we're like putting a list of things that we do like about ourselves and things that we don't like about ourselves, and then we analyze, okay, why don't I like this about myself? When did I started thinking about this? Maybe it was something that someone hurt you in the past, and that got imprinted in your brain, that got imprinted in your body. You had a trauma, or someone called names on you, or you were mistreated by your parents. For example, I've heard so many of my friends that have problems with weight control, and they really don't love themselves, or they really look up to food to cope with that pain that they have inside, because probably their parents or their family members told them that they were not lovable if they had, more weight on their bodies. So those are traumas that have been imprinted in ourselves, in our inner child. So most of the hate or the pain or the grudge that we have, the resentment, is our inner child who's been neglected, who's been put out, and that's what we need to start working on. One of the things that we need to start working on. Okay, it's healing our inner child, being very mindful of our thoughts. Sometimes, and I used to see that in myself, like I would treat myself super bad if I did something wrong. I would tell myself, "You're so stupid. You're this and this and this," and it's because maybe I heard that when I was a young child, and it's not that I'm blaming my parents or my family. It's just that these are just behavioral patterns that keep on coming through our generations, and it's our job, it's our responsibility to break these patterns so that we can be more lovable to ourselves and to everyone else. Okay, so I'm having my coffee here if you're having your tea. So these negative thoughts that you have about yourself, these are your belief systems. These are your beliefs, okay? So you have to bring the unconscious conscious, okay? So our conscious mind is about 5% of our brain, and our subconscious mind is about 95% of our brain. And 95% of our brain, that's a lot. That's all of our behaviors, that's all of our habits, that's all of our patterns, that's basically our automatic behaviors, okay? So we may be conscious of, okay, I want to love myself, but that's only 5% of your brain. So we have to access our subconscious mind so that we can begin to heal, we can begin to change these patterns, And so we have to bring the unconscious conscious, okay? So that's why you start writing the negative things, the negative thoughts. Why do you hate yourself? Why don't you love yourself? Why don't you feel empowered? Why do you let yourself people treat you that way? Okay, so it's a lot of internalizing and asking ourselves questions. Okay, so you do that writing, and I would suggest that one of the things that you do is to get a book, a notebook, and start writing about yourself. It's like you're being your own psychotherapist, you're being your own researcher, your own analyzer, okay? And the more we know about ourselves, the more we're going to be aligned with who we are, the more we're going to feel confident about ourselves, and the more empowered we're going to be, okay? So then the other question is, yeah, when did it start? When did I start thinking about this? And this may be very painful. Okay, sorry. This may be very painful at first because we're going to start realizing that maybe we feel grudge or we feel resentment towards one of our parents, towards our brothers or siblings, our friends, that they called us names or they mistreated us in the past. Okay, so it's a very emotional process to start like digging deep and recognizing why it is that you don't like yourself and why it is that you don't have inner love within. And most of the time it's because of that, because of our past pains and our past hurts, or we hold grudges, we hold resentments towards other people, we have inner shame as well, or we can't forgive ourselves for things that we did in the past. So that's another thing that we must do, is we must learn to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive others and just begin to letting go of those grudges and all of that pain from the past. Okay, so like I said before, after you bring the unconscious to the conscious, where the miracles and the changes happen. So the more you're aware of your thoughts and your actions, the more you can start changing them. So to start changing these beliefs about yourself and how you perceive the world and how you perceive yourself, you have to imprint new belief systems. You have to plant new seeds into your subconscious mind. And that, like I said, you have to reprogram our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is 95% of our operating system. So I like to see our mind like a computer, okay? So I think that most of these thoughts, these negative thought patterns and hateful thoughts or hurtful thoughts that we have about ourselves are like little viruses that are in our operating system. So we have to like clean them out, and we have to start putting out the new programs that we want for our subconscious. And we do that. As we do that, we start peeling the layers of an onion. Okay, so it's like peeling the layers of an onion and getting to the core, and that's the core center of yourself, your inner self, your soul, where you blossom. Okay, because we come from this energy, this bigger energy that's bigger than us. Some people call it God, some people call it the universe or infinite energy. However you want to call that, we are part of that, and that essence or that energy is pure love. So we are pure love. The thing is that we've been blinded with all of these thoughts, we've been blinded with all of these beliefs, we've been blinded with what mom and dad said that we should do or we should be, so we have to like start cleaning them out, and we have to start peeling the layers one by one. And as we do this, we're getting to our core essence, and that's the place where you're super empowered. That's the place where you fully love yourself, where you love other people, and you have so much confidence, so much awareness of yourself that there's nothing or no one that can, change it or change your perception of yourself and of your world. So as you start changing your inner world, you start changing the outer world. So that's why it's so important for us to begin one by one, cultivating that inner love, cultivating that inner awareness, so that we can overflow ourselves with more love and give love to other people. We can't give what we don't have. We can't give from an empty cup, because if we give, we're gonna deplete ourselves if we don't have. So we have to fill our cup first. We have to fill our cup, and then we can start giving other people what they're missing. Okay, it's just like when you're in a plane. When you're in a plane, they tell you put on your oxygen mask first in case of an emergency, because if not, you won't be able to help other people. So that's the first step that we should do, and that's how you empower yourself. That's how you begin to, hello, hello, hello. That's how you begin to change the world around you and change the world inside you. Okay, you start removing all these filters that are blinding us from our truth, which is pure love and pure empowerment. Okay, so I have a couple of techniques for you that they have helped me tremendously to change my perception of the world, to change my perception of myself, and I'm going to share them with you. Also, I have a very special gift for you. I finally made my first ebook that I'm giving it for free on my website. So I'm going to share that as well. So it's just a couple of exercises that you can do by yourself. You can sit down and analyze yourself and start writing and questioning yourself. And I give you all of these techniques and most of the things that I'm talking about here. So first technique that you can do is mirror work. And I got this from Louise Hay. She's really into all of this personal growth. And that's basically looking at yourself in the eyes and in front of a mirror and telling yourself that you love yourself. And sometimes it can be very, very awkward. And I remember that it was super awkward for me to do this, but that's where you start observing, all of these thoughts and, why you feel so weird about telling that to yourself. Okay. So you do this every single day and it's super powerful. I suggest you can also download her book, it explains like everything of how you can do it. Another super good technique that I recommend is journaling. So if something that you should get right now is a notebook and start writing, because when we journal, we write down our thoughts, we write down our ideas, we write down everything that we're feeling, and we put it on paper. So we bring it from, all these thoughts that are right here, we bring them down into something tangible, into something physical, okay? So then we can really observe and analyze, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is how I see myself, this is how I see other people. And you can begin to see the patterns and the things that you need to change of yourself and of your belief systems, okay? Another important thing that you can do is start doing self-care practices. Begin by cultivating that love, taking care of yourself, eating good food, going, cleansing your face, doing face scrubs, body scrubs, doing all these little things that make you feel good. Another important thing is affirmations. This is a really powerful one. So when you write down the negative thoughts that you have about yourself, you write the opposite, which are the affirmations, and you repeat these affirmations every day, or you can put them in front of your bed and see them every day. So you start like planting all those seeds in your subconscious mind and begin to cultivate that inner love within. Another important thing is being gentle with yourself. So you must treat yourself like you're a little kid, okay? Like you're a little child. When you treat a little child, when you see a little child that's starting to walk, you don't yell at him. You don't tell him bad things. You try to be very gentle. So that's what you should start doing with yourself. Observing the thoughts that you have. If you call yourself stupid, if you call yourself an idiot, like stop telling that about yourself, because you are literally telling your subconscious mind that you're stupid, and then you're gonna do dumb stuff because remember that your subconscious mind is the one that does most of the things automatically. When you're driving a car, who is doing that most of the time? Is your subconscious mind that already knows how to drive. So it's your behavioral patterns and it's your habits that are imprinted in your subconscious mind. So practice these affirmations every day, repeat them every day, and they will help you a lot. Yes. So I have a book that I already did, an ebook, so that you can download if you forget about these. So I'm gonna send you that for sure. Thank you for asking. And okay, so another thing that you can do is a physical exercise. So if we have a bad image about ourselves, or if we're not eating properly, if we're not taking care of our body, and that automatically goes to our brain, that we we look at ourselves in the mirror and we start like pointing out the bad things about us. And also not eating properly is not good for your brain as well. So and your hormones as well. So if you have imbalance of hormones, if you have imbalances in your brain, this will automatically cause you to feel certain ways and feel bad. So if your body feels bad, then you're going to feel bad as well. So it's like a repetitive cycle of never-ending cycle of dislike. So start doing physical exercise, do yoga, run, do anything so that you can begin cultivating that confidence within, and you can start feeling better of your self-image. And that's just one of the things that you can do. And like I said, eating properly. Hello, Money. Thank you guys for being here. This is super, it makes me feel good that you guys are here. Thank you. Okay, so like I said before, we have to rewire the brain, and we rewire the brain or reprogram the brain by learning new things. So what this does is that it creates new neural pathways in the brain. When we have our habits, these habits have connections in our neural pathways. So I'm gonna go a little scientific here, but these pathways are already marked in our brain. So if we keep doing the same things over and over and over again, there's not going to be any changes. That's why we have to start creating new connections in our brain so that we can have more new connections, new behavioral patterns, and new habits. And that way you can start having a new perception of yourself and of the world. So we do this by learning new things. So I would encourage that you start reading more, start learning new things, personal development books, or by doing creative things. That's super powerful as well. So if you can connect with your inner child and figure out what it is that you liked when you were a child, that you loved doing. For example, I loved painting and drawing, and that's one of the things that I started doing, and that really helped me cultivate some confidence and, explore that aspect of me that I didn't have, and just started giving me more confidence of myself and started seeing the world more differently. And this can be music, this can be dance, this can be anything that just brings you creativity, because when we're being creative, we're using our right side of our hemisphere of the brain. Usually when we're doing analytical stuff, and most of the people run by their left hemisphere of the brain. So we want to connect both hemispheres. We want to create new neural pathways in the brain, and we want to reprogram our subconscious mind so that we can start having a new perception of ourselves and of our world around us. And a few last things that I just want to point out is meditating and releasing grudge. This one is super important, and releasing resentments and pain, things that you've done in the past that you feel, that you can't forgive yourself about. And I know I did a lot of things that I had to let go, especially when I used to drink a lot or when I had a lot of addictive partnerships or relationships, and I said a lot of bad things to them. I had to, make my amends and and start forgiving myself and start asking for forgiveness for other people so that I could start feeling better about myself, because I felt super bad about all the things that I had done. And especially when you drink too much and you forget about you lose consciousness of who you are and what you do. The next day you're like, fuck, what did I do? Why did I do this? So, that's how you start. And sometimes you won't remember. Sometimes people hold grudges, and because you were, so drunk that you didn't even remember that you told them that. And I know that I told a lot of people, bad things, and I had to make my amends. I remember I wrote a list of people that I had hurt in the past, and a lot of people that I had hurt in the past, and I just started telling them, I'm sorry, this wasn't me. I was not fully conscious. I'm sorry that I told you this. I'm sorry. And asking for forgiveness to other people and forgiving yourself. So that's super important. Sometimes we forget about, forgiving ourselves for everything the bad things that we have done, and just let it go, like, fuck it, that's in the past. It's not here anymore. let it go. You're another person. You're not the same as you were before. And, just start focusing on the good things that you have, the good things that you are, and start cultivating that inner love with the techniques that I'm sharing here with you today. So, and another important thing to note is learning about our ancestral backgrounds and how we can break these repeated patterns. So sometimes we do inherit our parents or our grandparents and so on pain or problems that we have, but we have to like start breaking the patterns. Sometimes, for example, our mom or our dad were mistreated when they were a little kid, and their parents were mistreated when they were a little kid. So that affects us at the same time. So we have to learn to be compassionate of them and not hold grudge to our parents, especially that, because I know I had to work a lot about that on me, because I realized that they had their own issues, they had their own problems, they had their own traumas, and whatever they put onto me, it's not personal. Okay, sometimes we feel that it's super personal, but it really is not. And when we start looking at our parents or our family members as friends and not, or as another human being, and not as the role of my dad or my mom or my brother, we start seeing them as humans, that they have been hurt as well. Then we start forgiving. We start, seeing this person as with compassion and with love, and believe me, that really, really helps you a lot. It really helps to heal yourself. It really helps to begin, feeling better about yourself. And I know I did this for a long time, and I released a lot of grudge with my parents, and I released a lot of grudge with my family, and realized that we're all human beings, that every single one of us has our own traumas, our own problems when we were a child, and we can't be judgeful to other people, because if we weren't in their position, we would do the same thing, because we usually tell, oh, if I was in their position, but not really, because you haven't had his experience or her experience, you haven't had their problems, you haven't had their perception of the world, so you can't really put yourself in their position, because you don't know what they've been through. So releasing judgment is so powerful and so helpful, and just feeling better about yourself, and just let it go, man. Let it go. Let all your pain go. Let all of your hurt go. Let all your grudges go, your resentments. Forgive yourself, love yourself, and cultivate that inner love. And if you do like all these techniques that I'm sharing with you today, and seeing yourself and seeing other people with the eyes of love, which is our core essence, which is what we're made of. So begin peeling the layers one by one. Begin removing the clouds, removing the veil in your eyes, and you will start seeing your world from a different perspective. Okay, so I think this is going to be it. I already spoke about 28 minutes. I did a few questions in my Facebook. If you can answer them, that would be really nice. And okay, hey everyone. And if you have any questions, let me know. I did my first ebook finally on self-love. It's free on my website. It's aquafreesoul.com. You can download it for free. It gives you a lot of exercises that you can start doing, a lot of these techniques that I'm explaining to you right now, and just start doing. It's work, it's commitment to ourselves, but I guarantee that if you do it every single day, you're going to start, loving yourself. And the more you love yourself, the more you love other people. So it's work, and sometimes it's desperation. You get desperate and you start, blaming everyone or your angels or guides or whatever you believe in, and you start saying like, why, you start asking those questions. But it's a process, and we all have to work on it. The more we love ourselves, like I said, and I keep repeating it because that it's the truth, we see the world how we see ourselves. how our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. Okay, so if you see other people, and if you have jealousy or resentment or hate towards other people, ask yourself why. Why do you hate it? Because it's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of the things that you hate or dislike about yourself, and the things that you like about other people and that you admire of other people is just a reflection of the things that sometimes you don't recognize of yourself as well. So everything around you is just a perception of yourself. Okay, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think this is it. I thank you everyone that joined. Go ahead and go to my website, download it. If you have a question, let me know, and begin doing the exercises. And thank you for existing. The more you love yourself, the more you do each and every one of us a favor. So think of the world like a big organism, and each and every one of us is a cell. Just like our body has trillions of cells, the world, the planet, has life, is a big organism, and each and every one of us is a little cell. So if we start loving and cultivating love, we start healing the planet, we start healing each and every one of us. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Bye, gente. Here.